history of the Maryland crab cake. Everyone claims that they did it. You know, I hear some people saying, you know, my Aunt Hun in Baltimore made crab cakes the first time. You know, but in reality, it was Crosby Cage. He actually published a book in 1930s called the New York World Fair, and it was the first mention of the Maryland crab cake. Now, history states that crab cakes have been made in Louisiana and the Bayou for years prior to that, and they call them croquettes. They were like, that means dipped in bread and fried. They also made hush puppies as well back then. They called them croquettes de maize, and that was their version of the hush puppy. Now, hush puppy is a southern traditional down south, and also in Maryland, it's always used to at least be served all the time in the seafood restaurants. You find it less and less unless you go to the authentic places that probably are going to be serving real Maryland crab, the crab cakes. Anyway, once again, what makes a Maryland crab cake a Maryland crab cake? It's the use of real blue crab, okay? These are Maryland style. What makes crab cakes Maryland style? It's when you use Old Bay and mustard with your imperial. They can be fried, they can be broiled, they can be sauteed. That really doesn't matter. Most restaurants today do two things. They broil them or they fry them. And that's what we did today because I'm gonna keep in conforming with what you're gonna get out there. Enjoy and let me know what you think. Thank you. What goes great? What would you wanna have if you could to go with a crab cake? Thrashers. That never happens. Thrashers has been in French fries in Ocean City, Maryland, on a little tiny kiosk set up right down there at the beginning of the boardwalk since 1927. They make their fries, it's amazing, it's very simple. They use Idaho potatoes, they fry it in peanut oil, which over here, which I have a fryer, and I'm gonna show you, and sea salt and white apple cider vinegar. They double fry it. What they do is they cut the potatoes, they have a hand press, today we're cutting it by hand. They double fry it. They fry it the first time at 250 degrees. What that does is that's a lighter temperature, it brings out the natural sugars, and then they set that aside. They have the fryers in the back. If you ever go there and you're standing there, I always used to wonder how they do it. And they have a fryers in the back set at about 250, 235. They'll go ahead and fry them, and then they set them and let them drain. They don't do anything. I've seen people, you gotta soak it in this, rinse it a little bit so they don't stick, but you don't need to soak them in vinegar, you don't need to soak them in lemon juice. You cut them to the size, the thickness that you're gonna do. I think they use like a 3/8 cut over there. I cut them by hand because it's for home and for this show. They double fry them, like I said, and then you fry them again at about 350, 375. They're crispy, they get those little blisters. You just hit them with a little bit of sea salt and you dip them only in the vinegar. They don't use ketchup, unfortunately. I sneak a little packet. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. It would be like kind of putting ketchup on a hot dog to use it on Thrashers fries. You're just not allowed. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do Eastern Shore green beans. Sliced tomatoes are always served on the Eastern Shore with crab cakes. The Eastern Shore with Maryland ham, as well as I'm gonna do corn on the cob. Yes, I got it from Florida, fresh corn on the cob in the middle of February. And I'm just gonna do that with an Old Bay butter because that's traditional. I am using Old Bay in this recipe. I'm also gonna make a tartar sauce. Now I'm gonna make with Glosson pickles, mayonnaise. So what I have here to start, and I know I'm talking a lot, just follow with me. I have a little bit, I have a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise over here. This is gonna be for the original tartar sauce, which goes great with the fried. And then I'm making an imperial sauce, which is gonna go and use as the binder for both. The difference is the fried one is gonna have more breadcrumbs to hold it together so it doesn't fall apart. The broiled one needs just enough to hold it together, and that's what makes it unique. So you guys are gonna get my recipe, you're gonna be able to make it at home, and it will be the best crab cake if you use Maryland crab. Even with just what we're using today, they're gonna be phenomenal. You will learn how to make the best crab cakes better than any restaurant, I promise you, guaranteed. So we're gonna get started. What we're gonna do is the first things first is I have my fryer over here at 250. I already started one batch. So I'm gonna cut up one potato. We're gonna go ahead and fry them and get them going, and then I'll start putting everything else together, okay? So the way I would do this is I just take the regular potato, my cutting knife. Now, yes, we have a press, but, so I'm gonna go ahead and just make even slices. And then this last piece, I go just like this. And even if it's not quite as thick, it doesn't matter. Then I flip them over, and then I just make my even little cuts. It really doesn't take that long. It really doesn't. It takes a couple minutes to cut these the right way. So I just went ahead and have some salt water right over here, and I just soak them in that just for a second, and now they're gonna go right into my basket. I just do that just to keep that starch separated. Sometimes they can stick together. It's winter time. I noticed that they're a little wet than normal. Now I've seen guys pat them dry, this, that. It's not necessary. When you throw them in that fryer, the steam will burn right off, and there's already water in there to begin with. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna stick them in that fryer, and I'm gonna set the kitchen timer for 5 minutes. Once they're done, this is what they're gonna look like. It's a par-cooked French fry. It's got the natural sugars brought out because it's been cooked lightly at a light temperature. They're gonna be ready to be fried perfectly in a little bit when we crank the oven back up, okay? So now that we got our oven over here, I cook my crab cakes at about 450. I like a nice little crust, and I make them more in a golf ball looking like a, nah, not a golf ball, I would say a baseball looking. So this is it right here. This is the imperial sauce, okay? This is what makes or breaks this dish, okay guys? So I have 2 cups of a good quality mayonnaise. This is Duke's, Hellman's. Please don't use cheap stuff. Don't even use the olive oil based. I know it's healthier. That breaks down, and if you look at the olive oil dressings, I know it's healthier. It says straight on it, dressing. It's what, use it to make a Caesar dressing. Don't mess $100 worth of crab meat up. So, for Maryland crab, number 1, imperial sauce, they use mustard. Why? Because Maryland crab has that yellow hint anyway, and this will give the illusion of Maryland crab. And when you're mixing it in, and I use a couple tablespoons, and when you're mixing it in with Maryland crab, it just brings out the flavors even more. It's just amazing. I also use Old Bay. You can use Joe, you can use Way River seasoning. They're both fine. People swear by them. I like to use Joe and Way River on my steamed crabs. Now their seasoning, it's a little red, it kind of turns it a little color, but they all taste incredible. Everyone knows Old Bay. I stick with the Old Bay, and not only that, it's easiest to get in the restaurant business. Let's face it, try to order Joe, try to order Way River, it's really hard. It's unless you're right down there on the Eastern Shore. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a couple tablespoons. Don't want too much of Old Bay. Check this secret out, guys. What goes in Maryland crab? Cream of crab, they put sherry wine. Don't tell anyone this is one of my secrets. I put a little bit, almost like you were using vanilla extract. I'm not even gonna measure it, but I put about a tablespoon, okay, of sherry wine right in there. That does discolor it a little bit. I don't like to put too much of it, but that flavor is amazing. Additionally, guys, gals, everybody, I like lemon zest, okay? So I like to go ahead and get a little bit of that lemon zest right in there. Try not to get any of the white. That white starts getting bitter. Just the zest. The yellow stuff that's got the oil, it really brings out a nice little burst of lemon right into the crab. It's just amazing. And in addition, we're gonna do lemon juice as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and put some fresh squeezed lemon juice in there. See those seeds? They would have gotten all in there. I use this middle like an agitator, kind of mimics a juicer. Helps get it all out. It's a really nice, quick way to get everything and not waste. Waste not, want not. Now I have 2 cups, so I'm gonna do 2 eggs, okay? Just a rule of thumb. The eggs I put in there, that helps make it coagulate. It doesn't let it run, it kind of brings everything together. You can add white pepper, you can add some other things like that. I personally like to keep my imperial sauce very simple. I want to accentuate the flavor of the crab. I really don't want to change it too much. Some people put Worcestershire sauce. Some people put, oh my God. I've seen people, back in the day, in the 80s when we used to make crab cakes, they would almost make a stuffing. They had like celery and parsley and green peppers and oh my God, everything that went into a stuffing, and then tons of dried breadcrumbs you bought off the shelf. It was unbelievable. They used Maryland crab, and it was really good back then because it was more abundant. So then I'm going to go ahead and take this imperial sauce and I'm just going to stir it up really good. Yep, that's looking like a good imperial. See that? Not too Old Bay. Get that egg all mixed in there, get it all ready. All right. Now another good thing about using fresh breadcrumbs is we're not gonna have to wait as long. We can start really working with these almost immediately. And then I'm gonna turn that fryer up now because now we're gonna be finishing them to about 375, okay? And that's gonna work out perfectly as our crab cakes are going. This will heat up, we'll have everything at the same time. Additionally, I'm steaming some crab, and over here I'm gonna do some Maryland green beans. And this is Chesapeake recipe. I'm steaming the corn. If I said crab, you know, we're doing crab cakes, what do you expect? Okay, so we have some caramelized onions over here, which I started ahead of time. I'm gonna turn that heat up. Now what that did was at the lower temperature, the same concept with the potatoes. You start it with lower temperature, you bring out the residual sugars, they can call it sweating. Then you turn the heat up and the sugars are at the surface, and that'll give that nice caramelized sweet taste to the onion, as opposed to trying to do it all at once. The onion is bitter. And when to make a really good green bean, better than average, I think that when you have a nutty, caramelized sweet onion with some nice country local ham, caramelize the two together, and you add the green beans, that is #1 classical Chesapeake Bay cooking, and it's phenomenal to go with your crab cake. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that go, get that started over there. So I have a little bit more zest, and I'm gonna add that zest to my tartar sauce over here, guys. So this tartar sauce here is gonna go and be served with, once again, our fried crab cakes. And really, what is in tartar sauce? Some people like sweet tartar sauce, but really tartar sauce, it's tart or sauce. It's supposed to be tart. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do some Glosson pickle. I have just a little bit of white onion. I have the mayonnaise. I have a little bit of lemon zest. And I am gonna squeeze just a touch more of lemon juice right in there. And they always put a little bit of parsley, just a little bit. You got a little, parsley's a Maryland thing, guys. Plus, not only that, it's not only a garnish, but after eating crab, you're gonna have crab breath, so people bite into it, that helps. Okay, let that sit for 1 second. Now we're gonna go ahead and start our crab cakes. All right, so very simple now. We know how to make the imperial sauce. We know to use fresh breadcrumbs. Go ahead and get the bread in there. Now you can always add more. We're not gonna add too much right away, okay? Now I gotta get dirty, okay? I'm gonna get in there, gonna get a little dirty. Now, very important when you're mixing the crab, don't smush it. You're gonna be you paid a lot for jumbo lump crab. You wanna keep it in the jumbo lump form. People say, ooh, ah, ooh, you know? So basically we're folding it all, one over top of the other, kind of making it go through my fingers, just making sure it's all nice and mixed so it's not gonna break up. Really need these to stay together or they will fall apart. We're gonna fry them also in the same fryer that we are doing the Thrashers in, and we're gonna broil these in the broiler. And I saved some extra imperial sauce. I use that as a topping. It glazes and makes our crab cakes look beautiful. This is ready to go. I feel, yep, nope, they're gonna hold together nicely. So I'm gonna go ahead and do these nice little scoops crab cakes. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just tighten them up once we get them there. Now with this extra imperial, we're gonna put it right on top of each one. I'm just gonna dust it just a little bit of Old Bay, not too much. I don't wanna totally Old Bay our crab cakes, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and bake these 450, probably about 12, 13 minutes, okay? These are just little tiny, we're gonna fry these up in the fryer. And I'm gonna make them into little balls as soon as I get them all portioned up. Kind of want to get them all together, okay, because they will fall apart in that fryer because we really aren't using a ton of filler. We just kind of want these to hold together, and that egg and that little bit of fresh breadcrumb is really what we're relying on. And these are going to be served with that tartar sauce that we made. French baby green beans, it's what I wanted to use. And I have a little bit of olive oil. I add a little olive oil over here, and I'm also going to add a little bit of butter. I'm going to turn the green beans down. I'm going to hit them with just a little bit of sea salt, not too much. And I probably shouldn't have hold back on that sea salt, you guys, because the ham's got a little salt in it, country ham, and a little bit of black pepper, okay? And we're gonna let that go, and that is gonna be our delicious Chesapeake green beans. What I'm gonna do with my corn is I'm gonna get rid of the water that's there. Okay. Gonna just hit it with the butter and let that kind of just melt in there. Hey, anyone got a cholesterol problem? There you go, enjoy it. Go on a diet tomorrow. A little bit of Old Bay, traditional for Eastern Shore. They put Old Bay on everything, breakfast cereal included. So good. You ever had Fruit Loops with Old Bay? Don't do it. It's not good. But there's Marylanders that swear by it. Old Bay on everything, you know? Let's just look at the halfway point. Are they starting to look? Oh, look at that, guys. Look at that, shiny, glistening-y. That is Maryland crab cakes. Now, the way I like to garnish my Maryland crab cakes, well, there's many ways. The way I'm gonna do it is the lemon crown. The lemon crown is the most easiest thing in the world. I just take a thing, all you're doing is making a bunch of pyramids, okay? So I'm gonna make like a pyramid, see that? And then I'm gonna make another pyramid, and I'm going in halfway, and then I'm just gonna keep going all the way around. Okay? And then you can just pull it right apart, okay? We have this wonderful parsley, which we're gonna use to garnish with. These wonderful green beans, this wonderful corn on the cob. Another thing in Maryland, they love sliced tomatoes. In the summer, Maryland grows incredible tomatoes. It grows incredible corn, produces incredible seafood. The Chesapeake Bay is one of the most abundant, recognized bays in the world with producing some incredible food. People don't even talk about bluefish, Maryland rockfish. My gosh, oysters, chopped tank sweets, and different types of Chesapeake Bay oysters, Appalachia. Man, such good food right there. Bay scallops, they do bay scallop pie, seafood Newburgh with blue crab. It's just endless what they do. So we're gonna go ahead and, like a traditional way to set that up, we're gonna do that in a second. We're gonna go ahead and fry up these crab balls now. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, in Maryland they like to use the sliced tomatoes. It's very popular. And they usually just, I'm gonna set that up over on the platter. Okay. So, this is gonna be our dividing guy. This is gonna be our parsley on that side. A little bit of parsley on this side. We'll put a little a lemon crown on this side and that side. So we're gonna do a little bit of tartar sauce, the crab bites on one side. And we're gonna do Maryland crab cakes on the other side. Here's gem. There's another beauty. Right there, gorgeous. Beautiful. Beautiful. My recipe: blanched green beans, caramelized onions, salt, pepper. Just a traditional Maryland staple to go with crab cakes. Thrashers fries, they're going to be sweet, they're going to be amazing. Served with apple cider vinegar and sea salt. And last but not least, Maryland corn. It's just Old Bay and butter. side, one over there, and another one right there. So guys, we have my Maryland crab cakes, jumbo lump back fin broiled, my crab bites, crab balls, whatever you want to call them, the appetizers with a traditional tartar sauce, sliced tomatoes, Maryland corn, Chesapeake baked green beans with country ham, Thrashers French fries, traditional apple cider vinegar to go with it. God bless you guys. Enjoy and let me know how they turned out for you. Thank you.